Coulda see them, yeah, you a coulda see them. Coulda see them, yeah, you a coulda see them. So walk out with your friends. Jump around and jump around. Tell her dirty girl. Me back blood clot back. And she a chatting, but she really can't.
Brand new.
Cut your load from in a Netherlands.
Another day, another discussion. Huh? You know, you can see a snippet of someone's life, and you know, people think it's their day-to-day life. For example, you've probably seen it a lot of times. If I'm gonna say one thing, I'm gonna ask you lot for your stance about this after.
Yeah.
But when I say, like, you know, we kind of spoke about it previously, innit? No self-love. Yeah. I don't think people in this generation personally love themselves. I don't think people in this generation focus on themselves. I don't think people in this generation have any direction. You know, when you have direction, you have a plan, a long-term plan where you want to achieve. A lot of people are lost. I mean, that can be from many things, you know, upbringing. It can be from family, maybe no education.
Out of control things.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things, but if I'm gonna talk about self-love now, I'm gonna let you have your say in a sec. But if we're talking about self-love, I feel like people don't appreciate themselves enough. I think people look for validation in other people. So if we're just gonna speak about that, like validation in other people, what do you lot say about that? Your stance and anything? Have you had any experiences about that?
From people that I've chatted to before, like in terms of friends or girls or whatever in it, like it is, you can see it definitely in our generation. Like a lot of people like are very reliant on attention. I feel like that's always existed though. People have always relied on attention from other people to boost their own self-confidence. I think also with social media now as well, it's definitely more prevalent. Like you'll see on Snap, people be posting stories. People will not be enjoying themselves at a motive or something, or maybe they'll go to a party but they'll make sure they get a good snap in it. Do you get what I'm saying? They'll make sure the one thing they do is get a good snap there, because then at least people they have on social will think they had a good time.
See, if I just stop you there, that's exactly what I was trying to say as well. Obviously, me and Carson, we spoke about this before.
Yeah, so
you just see like a fragment of someone's life. They're not interested about going to an event or a place, anything, and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, so it gets to a point where they kind of like betray themselves. They're not being like who they are, and now it's all in the name of who has the best fake life. I mean, that's what we think.
Simple as social media is a facade. How do you say that word?
Facade.
Facade.
Yeah. Wow. Where did you get English from?
Being English though, I didn't know. As I said, facade. I feel like they're not genuinely interested in being happy, enjoying a moment. You know, living in the present. You know, saying I really had fun at this place and having an amazing memory. Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point of anything? They're interested on look. These lot saw I was having fun, or these lot saw I was there doing that. So, you know, if I was going to bring it to you, Carson, now, you know, quick back to self-love. What's your stance on that?
I'd say this generation definitely, without a doubt, has a severe lack of self-love. I feel like they also search for self-love in the wrong places. Even from other people as well. Like, of course, self-love, what it is as a definition, like it stems from within, isn't it? It's rooted to like
100
who you are as a person. But then again, like with this whole social media validation, posting the best fake life, it all just betrays that whole kind of self-love notion. I mean, it's really sad. I feel like that's probably one of the main reasons why because of this like lack of self-love, it's led the youth to just become like lost, and even to just go to like stoop to low levels that we just never seen before. It's just sad to kind of see the youth go astray.
I think you're speaking so much facts right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
I'm just saying from what I witnessed, isn't it? What we all witnessed as of the youth now, and lack of self-love. You could see in like pictures, social media, Snap. You could see the lack of self-love in that kind of photo or video. Like
It's just all for show, you know, like when
It's
they're
all for
filming,
show, yeah.
let's scream a little bit louder, let's like and act
And you
like we're
could
enjoying
really-
ourselves. Because I've seen it in the flesh, like I've seen people in front of me be like, they're just chilling, sad, anything, and then they're filming, they start screaming, like, look at me, look at
I
me.
know what you mean. That's
Yeah,
not
I've seen it, and I'm just in my head
100%.
thinking like, really, like, is that actually what you're on?
That's so embarrassing though. I feel like how can it's just be like you whip out your phone, start filming yourself. You'll be downbeat, whatever. Start filming yourself, make yourself look gassed and dying. I'm not. Listen, the thing with me is I'm not saying like don't enjoy, like don't go there and, you know, if you're upset then try and stay upset. Not like that. I'm saying don't constantly like give this image that, you know, you're living this type of lifestyle
100.
and you're happy. If generally with me, if I'm not like happy somewhere, if I'm going through a time in my life where I'm not happy, I'll stay clear of socials. I won't be posting on socials. You get me? I don't post on
So
socials.
if I just pause you there, you said you're more likely to post, yeah, and you, Qasim, you can have your say on this one.
Yeah.
You're more likely to post if you're happier. I think okay, everyone kind of agrees with that.
That's
Yeah.
the general
though.
That's the
general
normal
point. Yeah,
thing,
that's
yeah,
a
but
normal thing.
that,
Yeah,
that
to
whole
do, yeah.
that whole idea is
Yeah.
flawed.
It
Because
is.
think about it, everyone, yeah, even you're lying to yourself, you're convincing yourself that this is like your life, and you're basically showing the best. You're showing the best moments.
Yeah.
I would have no problem with people doing that, but you need to show when you're sad. But no one's gonna come on Twitter
no
and
one
say,
yeah.
"Oh, like I had one of the worst days. I lost my job today." No one's gonna
No
say
one
that. But
does
every
that,
time they're
yeah.
like, "I got a new job," and everyone's gassing them. That's cool. But like, from an individual, yeah, when it like messes with your head, it's a fact that you're just going about your day-to-day life. Why are you laughing? You're right.
And you're gonna drop something there.
Yeah, you're gonna try. Yeah.
Check yourself.
Nah, I could
Done a quick
even-
reverse. Man. He's got a quick
So-
reverse. Yeah.
So, wait,
yeah.
so if I go back to that
Half
point,
the
yeah,
syllable came out.
I like your hair still. It's looking nice.
Nah, man. Oh, thank you very much.
I'm gonna edit it and just put it on your face right now.
Yeah. Is
Go,
it?
do something.
Wow.
Do something good. Cameron Rafi now, go, say something. Under pressure.
Under pressure, yeah.
What are you saying?
You know, one thing I've noticed, like, just by growing up as well, like, even throughout this year, I've noticed just my screen time, every time it just keeps going kind of like down and down, and I never see it really going up and up. And
Really?
yeah, I think that's just personally me. But also at the same time, I felt like, you know, the older, I don't know about you guys if you could relate, but personally, like, I feel like when I'm growing older, I go through my phases, maturing, whatever, I tend to just like distance myself from social media. I even like ghost a couple of days from my phone. And not,
So I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to you, Qasim.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna ask you now, Qasim, like, in terms of social media and everything so on your phone, like, what's your stance on the amount of usage and how much, like, living in the present you can do? Like, whoa, how much do you say? 'Cause I know sometimes man goes to his phone for 2 weeks.
yeah, you know, for me, so full disclaimer.
Just talk to me about how
Yeah.
you feel like.
No, just fun fact, you know, I actually hate social media, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, we have to use it sometimes, innit? We have to see, like, you know, what's up. Maybe we share something, see what's going on in the world sometimes. But I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I just hate social media. It's just, I'm not coming from like a negative mindset, of course, you know, positive vibes only and stuff. But I've always seen more downfalls of social media than like
100.
ups. And
So if I come back to what I said, you know how I said like you know, social media is a facade. You only see the good,
Definitely,
really. I would have no problem with it, as I said. Like,
Yeah.
if it was, you know, I'd see good things and I'd see bad things, more or less equal amount. I think that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's okay. But because, do you think it's on the basis of we're seeing so many positives that it's basically, it creates an unrealistic perception of life in day to day, because you're seeing people do so well, seeing everything, but you've only seen them say, oh look, I've got this job, but you haven't seen them when they've been declined from 100 jobs and they couldn't even afford their rent in the month.
Again, yeah, so linking back to the facade thing, but also I want to say, you know, from the point that you said, I think that has kind of given everyone else kind of false hope, or that influence that, hey, they're like that and they're at the age of 21, oh, how comes I'm not like that?
There you
I'm
go.
not like that, and
Definitely.
that literally does
You touch on
eat at
such
you.
a big thing. I'll bring Rafi in one
Yeah.
sec. But in terms of like the mental health aspect,
Yeah.
you know, you're seeing people, I'm happy with everyone winning. I just don't think it's
Yeah.
realistic. It's not real life. It's literally
yeah.
not real life. So you're seeing like, people doing well, people doing that. Like you're seeing those people take photos in kitchens so they don't even flip it. No, man's gone IKEA. Like,
oh no, yeah. You know, I've heard about that.
You see that thing the other day about that girl who put on her thing? She's like,
is it about the LA ones? They go on a set of the jets. So
like there's a set and it's not even.
You can take a picture on the phone.
I've seen Instagram models doing.
So she put the caption like, fucking something like, or catching flights or something like that.
Yeah, one of the typical.
And then after she got exposed, the man changed it to like, in brackets, it was a.
I saw it was in brackets,
whatever, something like that. Like the fact that she put it out there to show she's catching flights when she's in a set, like she's trying to show something she's not. And especially with this podcast, I want to show real. I want us to speak personally about our personal experience, the good and the bad. Like emphasis on the bad, because
definitely
I want people to relate and understand, and if they're going through a hard time, I want them to know that things can change, things can get better. But when, for example, I've always said like, when you have a good moment, enjoy it, live in the moment, be happy, of course. Like create that amazing memory, you create that amazing memory. Do you understand?
Direct,
Just create the memory, enjoy the moment.
Would you say social media like borderline forces us to create that facade? Because you kind of have to like show the best profile. It's like on a CV to an employer. You want to show like the best traits.
I like that.
Isn't that like...
Talk more about that.
So the way that I kind of see it is like, with social media, it's like this label that you have. You got your followers, your likes, and it has to be like the best content you ever have because it's on your page and everyone in the entire world can see it. So therefore, because of that idea or that construct, does it like force like everyone to just put on that best facade they can to get the best successful results, like the rating and the likes? Like I don't know.
I feel like
social media is tailored that way. I think that's how I feel. That's how
I feel like the idea of like the CVs, like excellent. It's a very good use of what
analogy.
You said. Analogy definitely. I'd say, I think, of course, everyone wants to show the best version of themselves. For example, in this podcast, like, my best white jeans. You understand?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, this guy's fixed his beard, this guy got a trim. So
no, not even. This is like this is a weekly thing.
We all want to, like...
But yeah, you want to look presentable.
We all want to look like...
Yeah.
Of course. I just think...
Presentable.
I think the issue is the extent.
Yeah.
To where, as we said back, going to a motive and you're not even enjoying it. You're just there for show. I just feel like what are you honestly doing with your life? I feel like honestly, I feel like
it's direct though. It's true.
I feel like there's just underlining issues with that. To say you're not comfortable enough, or you're not happy in yourself enough, or you don't know where you're going in life enough to actually enjoy and live the present and live your life to the best. Like to the most full potential. Do you understand? And I feel like that comes with a lot of misdirection. So if I'm gonna put it to both of you two now, in terms of direction in life, and in terms of like where you're going, personally, I can ask you lot: are you happy with where you're going in life? You don't have to get too personal with that one.
No. I think and some personal would keep it real.
And like, I'm gonna let you have your say. I'm gonna bring my opinion in on how important actually having direction and setting out goals are in life. So if I bring that to you lot, what would you say about that?
I would say alhamdulillah, thank God, I'm really fortunate to be where I am right now. I never would have thought, like, ever since I was a kid, I'm really blessed.
We kind of spoke about that.
I feel like I dodged a lot of odds to just come here, and it's just fate and destiny. But in terms of actually having that kind of direction in life, I'm not gonna lie, I do feel kind of lost, especially with the whole 2020 going on. It does feel like every day is kind of like a kind of rinse and repeat, and I know it's kind of easier said than done to do like more with your life each and every day. Yeah. But there's this also like kind of big, not existential crisis, but like there's this feeling inside of me where it's like, like every day, is it kind of going to be like this? Is there going to be anything new? What are the things that I could have done in the past? Like things that kind of just like, eat at you in your mind sometimes when you just kind of wake up. So in terms of like kind of having that direction, I just feel like there's there could definitely be some kind of.
See, that's what I love.
that.
I want people in here that are real.
I'm keeping it real.
You're not here saying like, oh, I'm got this. I got that.
I'm
Like,
definitely.
I can, from my
no.
perspective, I can say I'm
100%.
genuinely like quite happy every day. I'm very grateful
Of
for what I
course,
have. Most things
grateful.
I have most things more than other people. And like that's why I even wanted to create something like this, to give a platform for people
course,
to
yeah.
speak and for it just to be real talk. Do you understand?
100%.
I feel like when you're genuine, it's very important because you're not putting up a mask, as we said.
Not a mask.
We're not showing things we're not and everything like that. So if I'm gonna bring
course,
if I'm gonna bring it to Rafi now
Keep it.
and say in terms of direction, how important do you think direction is in life? Because just before you speak, because I was gonna say, I feel like people can have an idea, can have a goal, you know, but I don't think they set the right mini goals or the right, you know, time, and they kind of jump the gun. So I can say like, I want to be a millionaire. I want this podcast to blow. But like, you know, I had to do so many things, like all the equipment, sort certain things, get the right day. Like, how is it gonna work? Like, I think like the key to success and the key to goals is putting mini goals, but like asking yourself, what do I actually want? People don't spend their lives and ask, what do they actually want? Where do they actually want to go?
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna ask Rafi again, like, how important do you think that is?
Having goals in life for me is very important personally. I know like you for example, you always like say about how you have like certain things you want to like reach every year, and you're always asking me like what I want to do in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We have meaningful conversation regularly. All of us lot. Like,
of course, yeah.
We're not talking rubbish. If you go on my phone, I have ideas on ideas. Anything in my head, I write down because
that's,
you know, it's not just me talking or thinking about, oh, I'm gonna make this happen. Like,
it's,
I know in time I will try my best to make this happen.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make sure I plan correctly. So yeah, back to you, Rafi.
No, okay. So for me personally, this year, for example, like my plans, obviously, everybody's plans have been affected by COVID.
Definitely.
I had certain ambitions which I planned to achieve by a certain time. Like whether they be like educational wise, economically, socially. Do you know what I mean? I had certain things which I put in place at the beginning of this year that I said I'm gonna stick to. So like, I don't know. For example, I said to myself, I'm gonna work this summer, make a lot of money.
Definitely.
I'm gonna pattern a placement in June, and go live somewhere abroad for a bit. Do you know what I mean? That was my idea. COVID has messed it all up now, so my thing now is that I just have to reevaluate, take things different, like take different things on board. I have to work with what I've got right now. Like I said, I'm very blessed as well, in the sense that
Definitely.
the position that my family have put me in life, it means that I shouldn't really struggle economically unless I mess up badly. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I should always be alright, which is a very like lucky position to be in. I know a lot of people don't share that position in it, but at the same time, it brings a different sort of pressure in it. It means now you have to think about, I need to like. There's pressure from your parents firstly, to try and, you know, attain a certain job, attain a certain starting salary, you know, be in a certain position in your life by a certain age. Like I always say to myself, I want to be like, by the age of 30, I want to be married and have kids and have a pattern job. Do you know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's gonna happen now. For sure, innit, because of COVID and because of other things that have happened. So you have to reevaluate, take things as they come. One thing I'd always say is never put too much pressure on yourself to achieve something. For sure, push yourself and try and reach that goal. But
it's a balance.
If you don't give up too easily at all as well either. But make sure you find the right sort of like you said, balance, like the right sort of
See, like if I'm being honest with myself, I feel like I do put a lot of pressure on myself sometimes. Yeah. And I've even said to people, I feel like I do, because if I ask myself why and I look into it, I'm like, you know, I don't want to fail. I'm actually scared of failing. Like that's what it comes down to. If I'm being very honest, like I don't want to fail. I don't want to not make my family proud. For example, let me give you an example. So obviously I'm in last year of uni. There's so many like graduate schemes.
Yeah.
And obviously I've been applying. I'll get through to the next stage. I'm getting gas, like I'm gonna get a job, and then I don't get declined at the end. I'm like, oh what? Like I'm on webcam. I'm not busting jokes, but I'm, they say show your personality. I'm showing my personality, and I don't get through. Sometimes like I feel like never take rejection personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I do sometimes, not with girls. That we can talk about that, but like. With jobs, I'm like, oh, what? Like, why wasn't I good enough? Like, when they don't give you feedback, that's another thing I just want to touch on. I feel like making mistakes is very important. So if I bring it to you two now, you know how people say they have pride, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the shit, I'm so big, I'm everything like that. I'm gonna ask you, what stance do you think? Let me rephrase that. What goes through people's heads to even come up with these accusations of they're so big,
their pride,
and they're everything like that? Yeah, they think they're it. But I'm asking you, what do you think they offer?
I think I've got a really good idea about that because I've witnessed that a lot of times in the flesh. I think it all roots from insecurities, definitely. The fact that they have to show that they're all big and they want to seek that validation from others as well to like make themselves even feel big. I just feel as though they're trying to cover up something, or they're just deep down insecure about something, and they need that sense of like that pride or like the validation that others give just to make themselves like feel a bit better and just happier, because the alternative is just too depressing for them. When they don't kind of get that validation from others, when they don't know that they're the shit, they just need that they need pretty much.
They need approval from people.
They need approval from
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Pretty
Come
much,
Rafi is alright. Come nearer.
Well, in terms of people in general just seeking validation off of others.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do see it definitely. In day-to-day life, you do see people that require. I feel like it's a young thing though, isn't it? Like when you're younger, it's more of a thing.
Fiery passion.
I don't feel like people at this age necessarily do it as much. Like I don't require validation off of anybody. Like I'll do my thing regardless, innit? Do you know what I mean? But I do understand where you're coming from, in terms of how you're saying it. Like it does. It's a thing of people. When I was in secondary, when I was in sixth form, I used to see a lot more like people would just be, not catting for attention off of people, but like they'll be doing things to try and like hope that someone like the person that they're doing it for would approve. I suppose you see it more now in terms of like maybe in terms of relationships. Maybe I feel like you see people that like they'll do certain things to try and impress. Like girls will do certain things to try and impress man them will do certain things to try and impress girls, innit? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's become a thing of you have to have this. You have to be able to drive, for example. You have to have like waves, or you have to be like 6'2" or something. You have to wear a tech piece. You have to have a skewer. There's certain things that people like.
Desirable.
Like it's desirable,
attributes,
isn't it? Like me, like I can't even lie. I got a tech fleece as well, innit? I didn't do it to impress girls.
You done it for yourself.
I got it for myself.
Yeah,
innit?
exactly.
But
there you go.
I can't say that I've not like been affected by it. Do you know what I mean?
Influence,
everyone has. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like we all want to fit in. I don't think you can lie.
I think it's quite instinctual now, isn't it? Just wanting to fit in, or like being high on that pedestal. Pedestal. It's
Even the people, consciously that say, "Oh, I'm doing my own thing," but unconsciously they still want to fit in.
They still want that.
They still maybe doing something because
it's
hot at the moment or something like that.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna bring it back quickly to, rejection. Yeah, and we can kind of touch on girls as well for this one. I know you lot been waiting for that.
No, not really.
But if we're gonna talk about rejection in general, so I from my perspective, I don't, rejection with girls, I don't face that. I'm very happy with where I'm going. I'm very focused in what I'm doing. I consider her quite alpha male, so I don't really.
Tried and true, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Why would you help you? Describe what you think an alpha male is, though. In your
Okay,
Yeah, by
that's fine.
definition.
Alright, cool. We'll talk about that. I think, in my opinion, an alpha male is someone who's. Let's get this right. Yeah. Some people say I'm like cocky sometimes. I would say I'm quite assertive. I know what I want. You know. I know where I'm going. I'm very confident in myself. Like, who wears white jeans to uni? Like, no one. Bro.
Oh, that's
Like,
yeah.
I'm very.
Can't say I've seen that.
Yeah, everyone was
Yeah.
saying,
No, you do your own
No, but
thing.
it's seen
I like
that.
white
It's like your
jeans, man.
trademark now, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I like
always
white
say,
jeans, man.
You
I
like
don't
it?
care.
There you go.
I
Do
think
it,
they're
man.
cool,
You get whatever.
Yeah.
Not enough people wear
I
white
think
jeans
no,
nowadays.
people
I think
yeah.
the difference between
I wouldn't wear it
alpha
personally, but you know that's your own choice, isn't it?
tracksuit. bro.
Nah, actually,
I like wearing
I-
trackies about when I go uni. Yeah, comfortable. Can't lie.
I rate that. You're doing your own thing.
You'd have to say, oh, I'm better than people. I don't think I'm better than no one.
Oh,
I love making mistakes. I purposely make mistakes sometimes in class. Like I do so well because I make mistakes and then I learn. Like I'm not scared to say, you know, I don't understand something, or I'm not scared to say I can't talk on something. You know, a lot of people on social media they talk. They're just talking on things they have no clue about.
Definitely, they hop on the bandwagon, and I feel that's like a really big, issue with the youth. They kind of move like sheeps. Like, you know, when one person or one group is saying that, and it just seems right, or the trend is saying it that way, then everyone just kind of flows in and agrees with it. They don't think for themselves, and that's just really sad.
You know, I think going on for what you said, I think it takes a big person to say like,
exactly,
I don't understand this,
exactly,
or like I can't talk on this. For example, I can't talk on flipping like, you know, religion, for example, when from an outside perspective. Do you understand?
100%,
so I feel like, you know, quite a big thing this day and age is people saying, I actually don't understand this, and you know, I actually need help here. And not acting like they know everything themselves, and not acting like they're so big and they understand everything, but to actually say like, I need help.
You know what? Yeah.
I brushed on this. I just let it just before I'll let you in. I brushed on this briefly before, and I said it's kind of like the extent of no one has got where they have gotten in life. Yeah, no one's achieved what they have without other people. Yeah. And you're probably thinking like, what? Like I can do it myself. If you're reading a book. Yeah, it's being written by another. It's being wrote by another person. Yeah, if you're like seeing something online, someone else has done it. If you're learning, you go to school, teachers, they're telling you what to do. University, same thing. Job, same thing. You know, when you're watching next people on YouTube to learn about things, they're telling you things, and no one understands the importance of people in your day-to-day life and actually progressing yourself as a person. So, you know, you're going to get further in life by saying, I don't understand this, like, can you help me with this? Rather than, I can do it myself.
Exactly.
You know, I'm a big shot and everything like that.
100% true.
So if I'm going to bring you into that one, Qasim.
Definitely. No, I want to say, you know, at the place where people say, oh, they're too scared to admit their mistake, I think there's just definitely a fine line where it becomes arrogance or ego. The fact that you don't want to seem as wrong or put your hand up, you know, saying help, I made a mistake, or I need some help. Yeah, I think it's just an ego problem. Some people's egos are just too big to admit they make a mistake, and that you know, inadvertently stops them from progressing forward. They just stay at their own place.
That's so true.
100%.
Like, I just feel like I couldn't admit to certain things that have happened to me in my life, for example. Do you know what I mean? To so many people, especially I wouldn't put it on socials, because I feel like people on social media, especially when you're hiding behind like an account, do you know what I mean? Especially you ain't got no Avi. Exactly. If I don't know you, then like it's not anybody's business to know what's happening to me. I don't feel like it's not anybody's business to know what's going on with me.
100%.
Of course, I'm gonna show you when things are going well, because I wanna you're gonna show off a bit. Do you know what I mean? If you got
to an extent,
if you got like a brand new car, for example,
or graduated,
or graduated or something. Exactly. You know,
I feel
that's a good flex.
Something positive in your life, you can flex. There's nothing wrong with that. You flex just if you deserve it.
If you're happy,
definitely,
others are happy for you.
I completely agree with you. I'm gonna bring Qasim in quickly, but I just want to say, I just feel like it's the proportion of things. You know, as we said, everything in moderation. I feel like, how can it be so much, look at me, look at that. Like, I don't think people understand that there's people wearing designer, Gucci belt, Balenciagas, and they're going home to a bed on a flipping floor. Like nothing in their room.
Maybe
There's
a
like,
mattress
like
or
one bacon in the fridge.
You don't
bro,
know,
like,
yeah.
Like,
It is,
like
yeah.
they have no. They have. I
think it's
man
probably-
saying like they have no food in their fridge.
Yeah, basically.
But they're happy because they got all design and everything. That's what I want people to understand, that just because you're seeing something, just because you know from your perspective they're having a nice time, it doesn't mean they're happy. And I feel like
100%.
I would honestly say I'm quite genuinely happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's definitely a correlation between, you know, not being so show and not just speaking in moderation. You speak about your bad things and you speak about your good things. I've come to you lot with a lot of good things and bad things.
Yeah,
like
of course.
I feel like that's a trait that people need to develop
100%.
to understand
100%.
like you know, this is real and this is my life, and every day's not good and that's fine.
Definitely.
And some days are good and that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Would you say like talking about your issues to people is very important? Like
Ooh.
in terms of, I know you do, and I know Carson doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, okay, we can. Yeah,
we'll brush up on
that's
that.
a really good question. We can. I can bring Carson in
Address,
quickly
yeah.
about that one and say, because I'm quite open personally. You know, a lot of people. I'm quite open. I'm not going around telling every Tom, Dick, Harry like my business, of course. But you know, I'll just say things how they are, and I'll say I can go to someone close like you lot and say I'm struggling, like I'm actually struggling, or like, I had an amazing day, but as I said, you know, you live in the present. You enjoy your happy days, some days have been good, and you go home and that's it. It's a good memory, but I'm not focusing a week's time on, oh, so happy back then. I can look back on my snap or something and go my memories and say, I was really happy that day. But then another day, you know, it can be a very difficult day. I could struggle, and I can just be like, yeah, cool, like that was a hard day, but I'm gonna bounce back. I feel like the key to having a very balanced, happy, genuine happy life is to, when you experience something happy, say you're happy, cool, enjoy the moment, smile. It's in proportion. So when I'm sad, I'm not smashing everything. I'm not taking out other people. I'm just saying, you know, I'm not in a good place. So let me just put things in place, you know, that I know. If I'm anxious, maybe let me listen to some music. Let me have a bath. Let me relax. Let me not go on my phone too much.
So you channel it.
Yeah, let me just sort my head out, and then let me just put in something in place so I can be happy tomorrow, so it doesn't happen again. And I think that's a beautiful thing about life. You don't know what's gonna happen. You know, personally, sometimes I do get anxious about a lot of things. People think like I'm so confident, everything like that. But like, you know, it's a normal thing. It's very normal. But like, life can be so cruel sometimes, but then it can be so beautiful.
Yeah.
So Carson, jump in.
That's kind of like the beauty of life. There's always the fine line, everything in moderation. And good comes with the bad. Loss is part of the deal. A lot of people, what they do is when they do get that loss, they just tend to lash out, and then that just causes like so much like bad energy, not to themselves, maybe to family and friends. They could inadvertently push like other people and their friends away. But yeah, in terms of like dealing with like me personally with like, let's say losses, for instance.
Definitely talk more.
Me personally, I've always like dealt with losses like in the past just by myself, me and between God. If I need something, then I ask for help, and then when it comes to families, and even recently as well, I've been trying to open up with close friends and stuff. I just, like I said, I don't talk to just anyone who like pops up saying, hey, how are you and stuff like that. I'm not really just gonna dwell, because there has to be that element of actually caring and actual like support as well that I need when I'm down. So I think recently I've been just slowly opening up, but it's all like it's kind of a progressional kind of thing. So first, for me, it just starts off with like family. How could they kind of help me? Can they actually help me in my kind of situation? If not, then personally, I feel like I don't want to burden them with my kind of trouble, because say they're already going through their stuff, I don't want to add in their kind of pile. So yeah, it's just kind of like all in proportion. But yeah, I feel like recently,
if I just pause you there, I'm gonna bring Rafi in quickly as well. I want to say quickly, I'll look at the camera for this. Like, if you're a man watching this, like, there's nothing bad in talking about how you feel. I know, society can come across and, give the perception that you shouldn't speak about how you feel. So I'm gonna obviously ask both of you two, like, so let me just start with me quickly. I will speak how I feel. I think the main thing that stands out if you're a guy, especially in this society, and you're speaking honestly how you feel, you know, even you can cry to someone, you can be honest to someone, I feel it's so courageous. I think that's the word that comes to mind. Like, imagine like in society, people were thinking, oh, guys shouldn't cry, yeah? And you're big enough to actually say, like, no, like, I'm actually upset about this. And you're actually brave enough to show your emotions about something. The word comes is courageous. And, you know, we're speaking about alpha and beta males. Like, people, I remember one girl told me, oh, I must have told her something personal, something I was a bit... She's just like, oh, why are you crying? Or I'm not crying, like, why are you getting upset over something? I'm like, what, am I not allowed to get upset over something?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man tried to say beat, like, tried to call me. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Exactly.
Like, you're actually very alpha, you're very secure in yourself. If you can honestly say, listen, like, this upset me, I want to talk about it. Like,
exactly, yeah.
I'm the same with that. So if I bring 100%. You two in,
definitely.
do you feel like in your past you've actually spoken honestly, boy or girl, family, about how you feel about things? Or have you sugarcoated it in a way?
I'd say...
And the reason why?
I don't want to mention the exact thing what happened in it.
You have to be personal.
Yeah, but there's been things that happened to me before in it. Certain things that I didn't really know how to like cope with at first, and I didn't know who to speak to about. Do you know what I mean? So in that situation, I used to keep it to myself, innit?
Yeah.
And I could cope. I got through it. Like, it was right, and but it was a thing of like. That made me think for future experiences that I've gone through like more recently than that I need to speak to somebody, and I have done. So I've went through other things since then. Yeah. And I've decided to like open up to people around me, innit? Like, cause my thing is always more like, okay, in the past, for example, I've said things to people and I've regretted it instantly after I've overshared basically, and I've told the wrong person. Fair enough. Yeah. I thought they were my friend. Not even I thought they were my friend and they turned out to snake me or anything. Just I thought they were my friend and I realised it wasn't as close as that, innit? Yeah, definitely. And you feel like a dickhead after. You just think like, why would I say something like that? Why would I, you know, something like that? Show yourself. Exactly, yeah. So it kind of taught me to be a bit more closed off for a bit. And I went through other things and I realised it's important to be able to talk to people as well. So if I want to get a female perspective on a certain situation, I'll get a female perspective. Do you know what I mean? I don't mind about telling her about certain things about me or my family.
Anyways, as I was going to say, it's about, you know, okay, cool, you can't speak to everyone, of course, we know that. But it's about speaking to the right person. It's about, you know, can I trust this person? Don't go around telling everyone your business. But when you have someone close to you who is good for you and who's there to help you and advise you and actually cares about you, don't hold back. Make yourself vulnerable. It's a very good trait, you know. Vulnerability, no one likes it because, oh, I'm scared I'm going to get hurt. But if you're making yourself vulnerable about something, you're so courageous. You're such a big person. You're saying, yes, this person can hurt me. Yes, you know, this could backfire and I could end up in a hole even worse than life. But you're saying, like, look how brave I am for trusting someone. Yeah. I'm not saying like
taking initiative.
Just relax, you know, as a person, relax, just see how the person acts. You know, it has to come over time. I'm not saying like a few weeks, everything, you know, trust is that's no problem. But like when you honestly know someone's good for you, don't be scared to open up. Don't be scared to be the real you. So if I'm gonna go to Qasim now, what do you want to say on that?
Yeah, a couple of things. First thing is that, you know how you open, how all of us, I'm pretty sure we've all opened up to someone who ended up being a mistake, and honestly, that's not our faults. Bottom line is, like, it's out of our control, and whoever we talked to, we trusted them with like whatever we told them, and it was their fault for, you know, misusing that or like treating us like the way back. So bottom line is that we're not really to blame for just like again, it's like you said, that word courageous. We took the initiative to actually open up to that person in the hopes that we could actually get better. We took the risk. We were a bit like, we came from an optimist kind of perspective. Definitely. But it didn't work out, you know. I mean, that's fine. That's part of life, isn't it? Loss is part of the deal. If
sometimes
anything,
in life things don't work out.
If anything, it could be for the greater good. It could be that that thing that didn't work out. It makes you stronger. You might not see it, but There's hidden virtues behind
And if
that.
it's for you, it will be for you, as we said.
Exactly, yeah, destiny.
So just quickly going back to you, Carson, you said like you don't like talking about things. What be honest.
Right, so of course. I'm always going to keep it real. There's honestly
you don't
no
have to
pressure. I honestly
you
don't
don't
care.
have to get too personal.
I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart because that is who I am.
That's good. Very
So,
good. Mashallah.
Personally, yes, mashallah.
What I'm saying, what I want
Picking
to
up the
ask you
sense.
is,
Yeah.
what's the main reason why you feel like you can't speak about certain things? Obviously, you're probably much better now. You know, I've noticed.
Yeah, over time, especially with the whole 2020 lockdown.
Last year, I feel like
it's
you have
definitely
opened up a lot
last
more.
year,
But before that,
the years before that, I would definitely say.
What do you put that down to?
I mean, the reason
honestly, why you feel like
there
you
is no
can't.
one reason, but yeah, like in the past couple of years, I'm not gonna lie, I admit, I was a big recluse. I would, just kind of stay at home, or like, obviously go to work or uni, more closed off. Yeah, just deal with my problems all on my own. And the reason for that is because.
Did you feel like that helped?
In the long run, not really. No, I think no, it didn't. I honestly, I just didn't want to put the pressure on other people. This is where I come from. I always was a guy who liked to soldier things by myself. Just pick myself up. Normal. I mean, that's normal, yeah. Like that. And also the fact that I always had this thing at the back of my mind was like, oh, what's the point of really like opening up to someone? A, do they actually really care? Or is it like B, do I actually want to burden them with
it comes back to the thing of
my problems?
You can speak to people, but make sure it's the right person.
But you can, it's making sure the right person, But at the same time, for me personally, I just really didn't like bothering people with my problems. I'm like, whoa, why? I don't want to feel like a burden. I don't want to dump or deliver all my problems to them and they're like, oh, why is this guy? I don't want them to feel like that, like I don't want to put them in that position, like, or do I owe you or something for telling you all my problems? Do I expect a solution from you? I wouldn't want to put any of that, so that's why I just kept everything all bottled up to myself. I always just went for my problems myself.
Definitely, I completely agree. If I pause you there though and say it's back to that thing of you need people in your life to progress, to understand. 100%. Like if I'm being honest and open to someone and they're honest and open back to me, I feel good by telling them my problems and I know they're for me, vice versa. So it's like we're both helping each other together. Yeah. I feel like it's it. I think talking's a very good thing. Definitely. I feel like it's the type of person that you can talk to. If you know a person will just push you to one side, as you said. Yeah. Maybe it's that you felt like you haven't got a figure in your life or a certain person that you feel you can let everything out to you. Yeah. So that's possibly why you've held back. Yeah. If you look at that into more detail, which is normal. Yeah. But I feel like my advice to anyone is there is someone out there that will understand you. If you haven't met them yet, that's calm, and they don't get that's calm. You can let it out in other ways. I've said to people, you can write something out. Or you can just talk to yourself. I like to talk out loud sometimes. If I'm going through a hard time.
I actually do that as well, yeah. I'm not going to lie,
I'll go in I love my bathroom, everyone knows that.
Yeah,
my
shower, bathroom,
I shave.
Do the grooming stuff, yeah.
My shower cap on, you should show these, look.
Classic shower cap, funniest guy.
When I'm going there, sometimes I'll just like put the shower on and I'll just think. I like to think in the shower sometimes. I think like, okay, I ask myself like, what's the issue? Like, why am I upset? Or why am I happy? Why am I feeling this way? Be like, okay, is there anything I can do now? I just think rationally, because when you can hear yourself speak about something out loud, it kind of makes more sense. Like, think about it, like, if you're not speaking and you're thinking of something now, you can't really put it in perspective. But if you're hearing it and you're thinking out loud and asking yourself and being real with yourself, it's saying clarity. Like, why am I feeling like this? You can make so much more progress than bottling up. So I'll never advise bottling anything up.
Definitely,
I would advise included to anyone, and you lot can jump in and tell me if you agree. But kind of like getting it out there in any way you can. So talking to yourself, writing things out, like talking to a certain person that you feel like sets the thing, like anything, ideas, like. Even drawing things out how you feel, just getting it out. I think the worst thing, especially, and it can make mental health worse. Yeah. A lot of people can suffer. We know that's very bad mental health these day and age. But like, just getting it out and making sure like, even yourself can hear you can hear your own self and you can understand your own self and think things rationally. Yeah. It prevents it from being suppressed and. you know, for even developing worse, and as you said, it can build up as well and bottle up.
Yeah, over time.
I feel like it's very important for that. If I bring you two in.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say definitely, speaking for myself, tried and true, it's never an option to like keep it bottled up yourself. If anything, over time, when you do meet that person, friends, family, whatever, you will eventually find that person where you could just talk to, and you could literally feel that burden being lifted off your chest when you do find that right person that actually supports you, reciprocates that energy, and like you said, you could both help, like both of you could help each other out, and that kind of builds up the word that we're talking about, courageous. You both kind of show that courage side to speak up. Yeah, what's actually bothering you inside, and
so
yeah,
we'll quickly let Rafi talk. 'Cause I need to go to the toilet. I was wanted to
yeah, toilet break coming up.
Cutting it. But I just wanted to say, Rafi, quickly for you. Do you think you met that person that you feel like?
It's not one person for me. It depends on the nature of the problem, innit? Like.
Okay. Do you feel like you're good in yourself of like expressing how you honestly feel, like even if you deal with yourself, or even if a person to go to talk to, do you feel like you're quite good with getting what's in here out?
Nah, I wouldn't. You know, I'm not the best person for that. I can't lie. I'll be honest with you. Like, there's been times that I've.
That's good that you're honest though.
I've
Like as I said, I feel I'm quite emotionally mature. You know, I'm not expecting
Yeah,
everyone to be like me. I'm not saying I'm like whatever, but I feel like this is something I've kind of just had and kind of developed. You know, you get it through experience and understanding. But back to you.
But like I said,
I feel like you do.
I've improved. I'm definitely better than what I was before. Like for now, I'm more of an advocate now of like people expressing how they feel about certain situations, or speaking on how they feel about certain things, in terms of, instead of just like, you know, holding it in. Do you know what I mean? But I admit straight away, like, I'm still not the best guy for that. Like, I'll happily admit, like, there's been times that I've made mistakes in terms of how I said things, or how I've expressed how I feel about things. Maybe I've gone too much overboard. Maybe I've not expressed how I know them about something to the extent that I should have. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because I didn't want to like, I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. I didn't want to mess up a situation. Do you know what I mean? Now I feel like I'm starting to find that balance. But even now, there's still times that I feel like maybe I don't handle a situation correctly, and I'll admit it. Like, sometimes I'll be like.
You know, it takes a big person to admit that, you know, and even say your flaws. Not so flaws whatsoever like that, but like, you know, to say like you're not the best at that. You know, it says a lot about you as an individual.
Courage.
As you said, courage. Yeah. I'll go toilet in.
Toilet break now.
How long will we think? I'm gonna say it to you, both of you now. Like, do you still have validation? Like, are you still seeking? Be honest with yourself. Like, is there still a part of you that seeks validation? Because I'll be honest. Like, of course, you know, I would like to fit in. You know, everyone would like to.
Everyone
fit in.
to an extent, yeah, just
You
a
know,
little bit.
no one wants to be like
that's
odd like that. But I'm very unique.
Yeah.
Like, I hold my pen like a flipping weirdo, bro, with 4 fingers. Like,
exactly.
I write like that.
That's
like,
that's you though.
Like, I just.
I remember that. Yeah, you know, thinking of sixth form.
And if I had to give me some pencil grip, bro. Like,
All you see in psychology class. Yeah, I'm with this guy.
4 fingers.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
So like, I'm doing like this, bro. Like,
hold the finger.
Like that. That's how I write. So, that's the thing is, I love.
When I saw that first,
I forget you do that. Yeah.
You don't know for a time, really. You see me writing like that.
Yeah,
that's my writing.
No, but
whack. But anyways, back to the point. Like, you know, I think, you know, I just embrace these things.
Yeah,
I
respected you for it. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
but I'm very like, as I said, I'm very happy with who I am, and I'm very secure in myself.
You're not
I'm gonna ask you two now. Would you say like there's a part of you that still seeks validation? In terms like of even
today,
like other people.
I think everybody seeks validation to a certain extent.
Yeah, to an extent.
Definitely, I think we all. You know, maybe it'd be like through certain things we wear, certain things we buy. When you're moving to a girl, for example, you're seeking validation of her. You're trying to tell you're trying to impress her. Whether that be if you're just trying to chop, or whether you're trying to, you know, take her more seriously, you're still trying to seek validation of her. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so it depends, innit? Like,
I think everyone to an extent. We have to be honest with ourselves. Qasim, what about you?
Yeah, of course I'm gonna keep honest. If we're talking about today, I would say no, not that much. Very minimal. Of course, there's always that human basic nature
Definitely.
of having that kind of validation, especially from close ones. If anything, I only seek it from like the close ones, the ones that I actually care about, friends, family, and yeah, the friends that I actually care about. But in terms of the whole worldwide social media like validation, I'd say I recently just killed that part of myself. I stopped caring. I detached and I got. And honestly, it was
cool growing
it
up
was all
and
part of
maturing.
growing up, maturing. It was all in the name of goodness for me. That's
Definitely, man.
it delivered me
Oof.
goodness, and it is sweet. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance
guess.
is bliss.
Ignorance
I
is
love
bliss
it.
to an extent.
Alright,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
just quickly, I want to do, it's inspired by Chucky Online. See.
Alright.
Anyways, we can
Skool.
talk. Yeah. Anyways, what I want to say is, at the end of his podcast, he has a point where like you just say anything, like words
Yeah.
of wisdom, like
Of course,
experience or something
yeah.
like that. So I'll start off. I'll say I got a really good driving instructor, Savan. I know you're not watching, because I don't think you would watch this, but I think you're really good. You really helped me excel in my driving, and I appreciate you. So anyone want to check him out, you can just let me know. It's very local, around our ends. What about you two? Anything.
Yeah, I've
Words
got a
of
couple
wisdom,
of things.
experience, anything
It
you
can be
want.
general stuff, isn't it?
Anything.
I've got a
like
couple
random
of things. Yeah, and the first one is it's all about in the name of pursuit of happiness, real happiness. None of us really do actually know what real happiness is or like how is it attained. It's just something that kind of comes to you and you have to build it up yourself. But in terms of that, I think a really huge element of achieving that happiness is honestly it comes down to being grateful. How happy you are is just depending
be
on
grateful.
how grateful you are. So my kind of
Hear
thing is
that.
to be grateful no matter what in terms of in the times of goodness, badness, losses, wins. I'm telling you,
And that's something we're definitely going to talk about.
it's obviously
in
in
another
future episodes we
have
could
so
go more
much
in
to
depth,
talk
but just
about.
from like just that a little
But yeah, be
simple
grateful.
level.
The things I
Easier
can
said
say
than
about
done,
that.
but I'm telling you, being grateful, it honestly it
Completely
makes you
agree.
proper,
And-
it makes you
and
complete,
Rafi,
and yeah.
I'd say
anything.
to anybody who ever thinks that like they're in like a position in their life where they can't see themselves going forward, maybe they look back at mistakes that they made, they concentrate too much on mistakes that they've made. I'd say always remember tomorrow, like it sounds cliche innit, but tomorrow's a different day innit? Like at the end of
100%.
and like at the end of the day, like you can always there's always an opportunity I feel for me personally I'm a God fearing man innit? I always believe that God gives you a second chance, especially in this day, like he'll give you a second chance to try and change your, if you made a mistake, go and change that in it. So I always feel like if you ever feel like you're not God, then you don't know what you're doing with your life, and
Keep the faith.
keep faith, whether it be religious or whether it be whatever else you're doing in it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and make sure you just find a source of energy for yourself, something that pushes you. Maybe it be a person, or maybe it be, I don't know, it could be a podcast, for example, and it's something that pushes you, motivates you to go
And
do
just
something.
keep going, innit?
Yeah,
That's it, man.
definitely,
Keep
100%.
going.
This is
Bigger
just the
and
beginning.
better, bro.
This is just the beginning.
Definitely, that's what I'm gonna
It's
use.
just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, yeah? Ooh.